Hello Tubesters, it's me Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. As you've seen by the title, today's video is the introduction and unboxing of the Tartar Miniatures bust. It's 250mm here, it's resin and it's called Warrior of the Plains. And one of my go-to books and inspiration is the Art of Howard Terpning, an American Western artist primarily, and he does, I'll give you a quick squizzing, I'm just trying to find, he's an oil painter, fine art painter. If you get this book, it's full of inspiration. I've always enjoyed reading about Native American and First Nation culture, and I've been aiming to get some busts and some figures of Native American, First Nation, Indian, whatever you want to call it, whichever camp you sit in, busts and larger scale figures. I have got my eye on a larger figure as well. I think it's 75mm, but today it's the unboxing of the bust. So if you'd like to join me at the bench, we'll have a look. Once it's unboxed, it'll be cleaned up in the next day or two, primed. I've still got to finish the plinth, which I'm working on at the moment, for because it's just a piece of off-cut wood I'm doing myself, so I can't just stick it straight down, for the Soviet fighter pilot bust, and then I'll get stuck into this guy. So join me at the bench, guys, and we'll have an unboxing. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. I do apologise that it's quite a constricted bench again. The back of the tripod is literally about 5mm from the end of my workbench. I've got a lot of 18mm Napoleonics I'm painting up at the moment, and I've got bits of Sea Fury stuck all over the places. The last bits of paintings going on some time this afternoon, so I do apologise yet again. Let's have a look at the box art. This was well, first of all, it's actually sculpted by Sergey Savenkov. He actually owns Tartar Miniatures, I believe, and it's majority is all his own sculpting. And if you check him out on Facebook, he often puts up in progress sculpts, and you know, the bloke's a genius at pushing potty. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant sculptor. And he's matched it by Kirill Kanaev, who is, if you're into your painting of these type of busts and large figures, you know he's a world-renowned figure painter. It was seeing his work, this particular bust on putty and paint. I was scouting around to do a native bust, and I just saw his work on this one and I just loved it. So that's the reason I got this particular one. So putting decent box art up does sell figures. It sucks you in. So I'll move this to one side for the moment. It's a one-piece bust apart from a few feathers that's got to be added to it. I'm not sure if it's slightly smaller than my Soviet fighter pilot bust. This is called a split horn war bonnet, I think, or headdress. I'm not going to make out that I know everything about Native American culture, because I don't, but I've been researching headdresses, as you do, and I believe this is a split horn war bonnet stroke headdress. These aren't feathers, they're ermine fur, so that's like a stoat and a weasel, and it's white. I don't know if you could do them brown as well, and I might well do, you know, you sometimes try and change it from the box art just to be a bit different, so I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. The only ones in ermine fur I've seen are white, so I presume that ermine are white. I've been scouting around and I can't see any with brown. I don't know if this is ermine or what, but it's like fur. I've got to work out what these plumes like tails are. Some cracking bead work. Little bits of clean up to do, obviously, because you've got the beads and all the different fine lines. You'll see the odd little tiny bit of resin like there hanging. Let's see if we've got a pointy stick. I do these videos and I forget my pointy stick. Right, here we go. You know, there's bits like that there, I presume. You've got to be careful, because at first I thought these were, you know, just a bit of off resin, but it's not. It's actually obviously to another plume down here, and that's a bead. This will be bead work as well. But I love the face, great facial details. Very small bit of clean up to do maybe here. Might just rub away with a bit of work. And the same just there. But on the whole, it's fantastic. Can't see particularly any holes. You think there might be some holes in that in this type of texture, but there's not by the look of it. Now it comes with. Let's go back to the box art for a second. It comes with these feathers that attach on the back. So let's just get it out. There you go. You get this, which I presume, yeah, I've got a little arrow there, so I take it that tells you which way up. Obviously that would be, I presume, buckskin or trade cloth, but I imagine buckskin. And obviously your feather attaches like that. Obviously you're going to put that on last, or that you just know they're going to get snapped off. But again, feathers, great detail. I won't show them all. Feather's a feather. You've got some obviously twine there to paint whatever colour you want. And as I say, you've got these horns, which I'm going to say a buffalo. Now it does come, as you can see here, with these streamers attached to the back. Now I can't even get them out the bag. There's some absolutely tiny. At first I thought it was just, you know, resin that had knocked off off the parts, and it's not. It's actually to represent these streamers, but they are so delicate. They would never in a million years survive first contact with a fingertip. Well, not that people should be touching at your bust, but that sounds good. But no, I'm just wondering, because that looks more like cord than it does resin. So I'm going to look to either whether I'll probably use some wire maybe and paint it up. But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But I mean, obviously, again, that face, when you see this face on putty and paint, there's different close-ups and obviously angle sides and all the rest of it. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, and again, Kirill Kanaev is the top of his game. You know, you're not going to produce, someone like me isn't going to produce a face like that. But it'll be great to do a, you know, non-Caucasian, was it, skin colour, try something different. But it's just the mood of the face is just fantastic. As I say, again, it's to you know, to anybody that's never done, you know, this type of work before. You've got the actual sculpting ability of the sculptor, whoever he or she may be at the time, whichever one you're doing, and then you put your own spin on it with your paintbrush, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it's especially for us further down the pecking order, it's a big learning curve. But really looking forward to this. As I say, I've always been that book, by the way, by Howard Terpning. You can pick that up in the UK. I mean, when I bought it, it was produced in '91, and I think it was around that time I bought it. But you can pick that up for around £7 at the moment in the UK. If you go on the usual eBay, put the Art of Howard Terpning in, it'll come up around £7 from the different cheap bookshops. I can't rate it highly enough. He's got a couple of other books out, believe he's about 92 now, but he's got a couple of other books out which are way out my price range. They're going for around £50, I believe. But it's brilliant inspiration, and you'll get lots of ideas of beadwork and how to paint this, that, and the other. So if you fancy a book like that, Howard Terpning is the way to go. So guys, I'm waffling and rambling, taking us way away from the actual bust itself, but you need inspiration and ideas when you're doing this type of work, as you would do for any other, whether you're scale modelling or doing your other figure painting of different sizes. So thanks for stopping by and taking a look. As I say, this guy will be cleaned up today, tomorrow, the next day, primed and ready to go, and then it's just when I've got the time in my schedule and the inclination, I'll start painting. So you take care of yourselves. I hope everything's going well with you, and we will catch each other as usual very soon on another video. Cheers.